Hey guys, I'm Funky Hellboy, and you're watching Skullgirls Online Battles, Episode 3. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Funky Hellboy. Now the topic of today's discussion is how it's like playing a fighting game beta. You would think that it's playing every other beta, like if you're playing Warframe, which hasn't been released yet, which is on Steam, and you might like to try it. It's a pretty good game. It would be like playing Warframe, which is changed, not that much, just little tiny tweaks and changes there, and you're right. There are just little tiny tweaks and changes in the fighting game beta, but the main difference is between regular betas like Minecraft beta, Warframe beta, and a fighting game beta is that fighting games, you have to take something that's usually set in stone. For example, if I'm playing Philia, and I'm using her air medium, which is what I've been, if you're watching the screen, it's what I'm using a lot. It's just a force of habit, and it's a really good move. If I'm using her air medium punch, which is spinning around her multiple hits, and in the next update, if they change that so then it's unsafe, or they could just jump up right after I do it and just grab me out of it, that would change the whole way I play Philia. That would just change the whole way everybody would play Philia. That's the big thing about fighting game betas and regular betas. Fighting game beta, you need like something to keep being set in stone, so that you can use it over and over again, attacking. But change isn't a bad thing in the fighting game. Like, if they're gonna give, let's just say in the recent update, they gave Peacock a taunt. Minor change? Pretty cool. Now, if they, nerfed and buffed some characters with minor changes, like they did with Miss Fortune, not really a minor change to her, but they did nerf her, in my opinion. They did nerf her. But the main thing about being in a beta is the changes. And being in a fighting game and having the changes is a great thing and a terrible thing. I don't want to say terrible because it's always great being in a fighting game beta. You get to do things that nobody else can do. You get to play the game before anybody else comes out. But it is terrible sometimes when something changes that you're used to. I'll give an example that took me a little bit of time to get readjusted to, and it was with Squiggly. At the beginning with Squiggly, her battle opera song, her super, that you can do 3 versions of with different, light and heavy, combinations. That used to be quarter back punch, and the super grab that she has used to be quarter back 2 kicks. Then they changed those 2 into battle opera being quarter back quarter back kicks, and her grab being quarter back light punch and light kick. And I agree with what they did there. I'm absolutely fine what they did. It did take me a little while to get used to that because I kept doing the same thing over and over and over again, causing something that got a little irritating after a while. But the main problem with being in a fighting game beta is just the change. But change is never a bad thing, especially in a fighting game beta. I know it's confusing, that it's the main problem, and it's one of the best things, because it depends on what gets changed. So let's say if I was playing Miss Fortune, it would be a main problem for me because she got nerfed. But let's say I was playing somebody that has a really bad matchup against Miss Fortune. I don't know who, but let's just say Pinwheel. If Pinwheel got buffed, then it would be a really great thing for me. And if my character doesn't get buffed or nerfed that hard, or it doesn't even get changed at all, like Philia pretty much, it would just be an okay thing. I would just be like a sideliner, And sometimes my matchups will get better, and sometimes it will get worse, depending on what they change with the other characters. But being in a fighting game beta is a great thing. And I cannot think of a better game to be in a fighting game beta than Skullgirls, where everything feels fluid, even though some of it's like a work in progress, like Squiggly, pretty much. Playing Squiggly also is, I wouldn't say it's much of a risk now that I got everything down, but in the beginning it was kind of a risk to play her because they could have changed anything. They could have went like, oh, this doesn't need as much block stun, oh, you can now grab out of this, things like that. But now it's pretty safe to play as her, and she is a whole lot of fun. I'll continue on Squiggly in the next episode.